Appreciate you being here to examine this problem that we're experiencing in the United States of America. This has been an issue for me for probably 5 years, and certainly the pandemic has highlighted and exacerbated this tremendously, so I really appreciate the testimonies here today. These drug shortages, these vulnerabilities in our supply chain, they put our national security at risk. They put our national health security at risk. I am a soldier. I served in Iraq. If you'd have told me that my protective equipment and my pharmaceuticals relied on an adversary, China, I'd say, how in the heck did we get here? How did our military get here? This is a huge problem, and I think it's underestimated, and we're late to the game in discussing it, but I'm glad that we are. Right now in the United States, there's 252 drugs in shortage. Life-saving drugs, albuterol for asthma, chemotherapy drugs. This is serious, serious stuff for the United States of America, and our vulnerability is huge right now. And the bottom line up front is we have an over-reliance on foreign manufacturers. That is the bottom line. And in many ways, we've regulated our way there. I would tend to disagree with what was just said about our FDA. I'm not trying to slam them, but if they're not in those labs in China, and especially since the pandemic, it is a problem. You know, and so we'll talk about not only the quantity of medications available, that's the problem, but the quality of medications available. I've served in the reserves for 25 years, just retired last year. Before I retired, I was in uniform and in my administrative position. I was clinical at Walter Reed. My administrative position, I had the opportunity to work with the Defense Logistics Medical Supply Chain Council, working to reduce or eliminate our supply chain challenges, what they are, how severe the risk is, why there is a risk, and how they can start to do it. But they can't do it without us. We cannot turn this around unless we make some changes here in the United States, whether it has to do with regulation or not. But the risk is there, and these are essential medical products. So it's not only domestic, but it's geographic. Puerto Rico does a tremendous job in supplying many of our medical supplies. They have 2 hurricanes. We can't get saline here. That's a problem. So it's not only the ability to have the capabilities and opportunities to do it here. We can't just have it in one place. We have to have a diverse supply chain. And working with our allies is fine with me too, but certainly not relying on an adversary. Because the problem is, it's just like that in a darker day. They cut us off. And as the CEO of a generic manufacturer in Europe said, if China cuts us off, our supply chain, our shelves are empty in 2 months. That's a quote. So today I plan to release a discussion draft of legislation I've been working on for years, and I want to start with our critical battlefield medicines and provide new powerful incentives to locate manufacturing of these medical products in the United States all the way down to the active pharmaceutical ingredients. And I look forward to officially introducing this bill. I hope my colleagues on this committee will join me, take a look at it, offer any advice you may have to it, and I hope it serves as a template to go across the board to serve all maladies, not just in the battlefield. Dr. Schonnemeyer, can you describe as best you can the degree to which our supply chain for drugs is dependent on foreign sources, both quantity and quality? You know, I'd like to remind people, it wasn't maybe 15 years ago, we had 250 Americans die from tainted heparin. Right? And the opportunity for sabotage is there. There are all types of things we need to be concerned about as we go forward.
I've commented several times about the quantity. Quality is an important issue, and as you point out, the heparin, more recently we've had eye drops come out of India that were contaminated and caused people to lose their eyes or even die because of that. We've had baby formula contaminated with bacteria that caused some deaths of babies using baby formula. I think quality is a major concern. And remember I said that India is responsible for 45–50% of all the generics that come to the U.S.? India does not participate in the International Council on Harmonization of Drug Regulation. The U.S. does, Canada does, Mexico, Europe, most major westernized countries participate in that group. India does not. We as a country should not continue buying product from India. We should leverage them to participate in that conference that will improve the quality of their products. That's one example of ways of leveraging them. So we need to be concerned about quality. Second, we've had several people comment about we're going to have to pay more for generics. I agree with that, but you don't indiscriminately pay more for all generics because some companies will continue to free ride on that and take the higher price and keep cutting the cost. So we need quality measures that are specific, that are product specific, producer specific, and reliable, and then we can pay more for the companies who meet those criteria.
Thank you. I yield back.